Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Anything Arduino. Today's project is one out of necessity. We have a washing room down in the basement, and now when the winter is coming, it gets really cold. Not minus degrees, but really cold, and that's not good. And also it gets very humid because of the dryer. So we're going to take use of a DHT11. It's a small sensor that measures both humidity and temperature in one chip and on one pin as well. So we're going to pair this up with ATtiny 85, an LED for blinking to show it's working, and one of these relay boards with two relays on it. One is going to be for a dehumidifier and one is going to be for a heater. So with this little setup, we're going to make sure that the humidity doesn't go up too high. Anything over 60 is actually bad for your house. And also we're going to make sure that anyone going into the washing room won't freeze to death while being there. So let's dive right into it. The first thing we need to do, as we often do when using a new sensor with Arduino, is we need to download the library, or a library. And if we just do a search for DHT11, we quite quickly, first we get an Adafruit. You can buy the product and then you get two libraries here. This is a DHT11 library, and this one is a more general DHT sensor library for all the one DHT 11, 21, 22, etc, etc, 33, 44, I think. It's the same guy who's done them, and this one is a bit newer. So let's go here to the playground. Yeah, so it explains all the sensors it works with. And we go to GitHub immediately. And we have it here. I'm not that comfortable with GitHub. I never understand how, if I would only like to download this one branch or whatever you call it. So I do know that if I go into Arduino here, I can download his entire folder, Arduino folder, I can download as a zip. So I do that. It's not as if it's very large. And we open this. So if we look in here, we see that there is a lot of stuff that comes along with this download. So, but we only want the DHT-lib. So let's open up our documents folder, Arduino, and libraries, and we copy our DHT-lib down in here. Done. And when we start our Arduino now, we should now have some examples for DHT-lib, and there it is. So thanks to Rob Tillart, who's done this library, and let's continue. For this project, we're going to use the ATtiny 85, and we're going to use the DHT11 to measure temperature and humidity, and then we have a relay board with 2 relay modules, or 2 relays, one for the dehumidifier and one for the heater. And then we're going to have one LED just to blink and to show that we are doing something. But we are also going to use a full-sized Arduino Uno to try this out first, and then when we're done with that, we're just going to change the sketch to use the ATtiny instead, which in essence is only changing a few pins, provided that all these things, these 2 things will work with the ATtiny, provided the DHT11 will work with the ATtiny 85. So we're going to start by hooking this up. We're going to do like this. We put the ATtiny 85 on the side here, so we have it for later. We're going to put the DHT11 down here. So what we have to do, we have to start by hooking this one up, and if we look at the schematics, we know that pin number 4 counted from, we do it like this. This is pin 1, 2, 3, 4. Pin 4 is ground and pin 1 is voltage plus. So we can quickly add those 2 there. Plus and minus, or plus and ground actually. 5 volts and ground. There. We are then going to, data is on pin 2 of the DHT11, and we can't use the exact same pin configuration on the AT Mega 328 or the Arduino Uno as on the ATtiny, because 1 and 2 is used for transmitting and receiving serial data, which we'll use for debugging. So we put this on digital pin 2, and then we have another kind of cable here to connect the relays. One good thing with these relay boards that you can buy quite cheaply on eBay is that all the necessary components to shield the relays from the data pins is right here. You have here in the middle, you have a optocoupler, you have the diodes, and you have the LEDs showing that that there is data on the that the data pin is high. So these boards are really good in that point of view. So we can just add the data pins. Let's see, green is relay 1. So 1, digital pin 3 and digital pin 4. And then we have ground and voltage plus. And finally we have the LED. So we're going to put that on pin 5. Just gonna do it like this. and we're gonna need one more cable for that. Take another ground there. So from here then we are going to go into the software and write us a sketch. Alright, so in our Arduino IDE we're going to start this off just by loading the DHT11 test. This is just a simple test sketch where you include the DHT library and you define the DHT11 pin, which we say was pin 2. So let's change that right now. And then we have a lot of serial prints going on here, just printing out the humidity and the temperature. So if we upload this sketch, it's done there, and we go into our serial monitor. We will see that humidity is 51% and temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Right, so nothing special, it works out of the box. This is the example sketch. We're going to just continue using this sketch because that's easy, and we're just going to add to it a few things. First off, here up by the pins, we're going to add a few digital pins. The dehumidifier, and that was on pin 3. So 2, 3, don't forget that. And then we had the heater, which was on pin 4, and we had the LED, which was on pin 5. We're also going to need a counter for the LED while the circuit is in idling and waiting for the next period to check for humidity and temperature. So I equals 0 for now, and in our setup we are going to do some pin modes here. The dehumidifier should be an output, and the heater should be an output. Oops. And the LED should also be an output. There. So now in our loop, we're going to take away a bit of the error checking here. We're not interested in that. We're just interested in the let's see, do we need that in DHT read 11 DHT pin? No, we don't need that. So we're going to let it keep on printing out the humidity here for now. We're going to remove this later when we move over to the ATtiny 85. So we're going to do some ifs here. If DHT.humidity is higher than, it was 50 now, right? It was 51%. Let's do 55. So if it's higher than 55, then we are going to, then the dehumidifier is going to go on. So if the if the humidity is higher than 55, the dehumidifier should be turned on. So digital write dehumidifier high. Or else we are going to digital write dehumidifier low. So we're going to turn it off. If it's already off, then it will stay off. And if it's on, it will stay on as well. That's for the humidity, and the same for the temperature. DHT temperature is less than, let's say 20. We were there somewhere. Then we're going to digital write dehumidify. No, digital write. Now we're going to start the heater. Heater high. Or else we are going to turn it off. There. So now we have the error checking, not the error checking, the humidity and temperature checking, and turning the relays on or off, depending on the values. Then we want this to just sit and idle for a while, because we don't want to check as fast as the Arduino can do it, because then when it's in the just in the zone of 20 degrees or 55% humidity, the on and off of the dehumidifier and heater will go berserk. And we end the while loop. So in the loop, it will print the temperature and humidity. We will check if the humidity is more than 55. If it is, we will turn the dehumidifier on, or else we will turn it off. If the DHT, then we will check if the temperature is less than 20 degrees. If it is, we will turn the heater on, or else we will turn it or keep it off. Then we will wait right here for 20 seconds, blinking the LED so we see that everything is working as it should, and then we loop. So let's put this one into the Arduino. And there our dehumidifier went on. Let's see if that's correct. Serial monitor. That's not good. We have a 0 reading here. There. See if that helped. Yes, of course. Okay, so the humidity is less than 50 and temperature is 20 degrees. So none of the relays should be on, and they're both on, so then it's just high should be low, low for on, high for off. Sorry about that. Again. Both are off. Turn this on, 51 and 20 degrees. So let's blow a little hot human air on this one. Humid hot human air. There. Immediately did the humidity dehumidifier turn on. Sorry, can't see that for the cable. Let's do like that. So that means that it's working now. If we change the temperature to 22 degrees, probably the heater will turn on too. Yeah. So now both heater and dehumidifier is on. And if we look at the serial monitor, it's 20 degrees and 65% humidity. Great. So now let's move all this over to the ATtiny 85 and see if that works. This means rewriting a bit in the sketch here. We're going to have to change the pins. We get to that. First we need to take away everything that has to do with serial, because that is not you can't use that in the ATtiny. So let's upload this one more time just to see so it works in our current chip, and it does, most probably. It's still a bit humid in that sensor because I blew on it. Right. So let's do let's turn the Arduino into an Arduino ISP. Oh, just one more thing before we turn the Arduino into an ISP. Let's finish this code and make this code completely ready for the ATtiny 85. So if we take up the ATtiny 85, we need to change. We said the DHT11 sensor should be on pin 0, the dehumidifier pin 1, and heater pin 2, and the LED on pin 3. So let's do those changes here. DHT11 0, dehumidifier 1, heater 2, and LED 3. And also let's go down here to our loop. I changed this so we could more easy debug it before. Let's turn this up to 30, so it will loop for 2 seconds 30 times, so 1 minute before checking the temperature and humidity again. And humidity 55 is a good value. I think 20 is a bit high. We have to think of the economy as well, and the environment, because we don't want to use too much electricity. So 18. Let's save this, and we are ready to go and make the Arduino into an ISP, which I will not show you. If you want to see that, you have to look in another video. So we have now made the Arduino into an ISP. We burnt the bootloader into the ATtiny 85, and then we burnt down or uploaded the sketch into the ATtiny instead with alterations we did on the pins. After that, I've switched the pins over to the ATtiny. I will quickly go through that, and I'm running it now, and just with a simple power supply like this one here. And at this very moment the heater is on and the dehumidifier is off. So what I did was I removed the connections to the Uno and we connected the DHT11 to digital pin 0 of the ATtiny, the dehumidifier to pin 1, the heater to pin 2, and lastly the LED to pin 3, digital pin 3 of the ATtiny. And the power is from another source now, so that it's completely removed from the Arduino Uno. And I of course also connected power to the ATtiny 85. Like so. So I've taken this circuit that we made and I've just soldered it together just as it was. I've added a small power supply, that's it, on the hardware side. On the software side, I just couldn't get it. It felt wrong all along, so I had to get all this extra error checking code. So if you watch the LED, it's not anymore blinking once every 2 seconds. It is now going through a loop where it checks the temperature, and then it clicks the tens and then the ones of the, so if the temperature is 18 degrees, it will blink once, do a pause, and then it will blink 8 times, so 18. And the same for humidity, just so I know what the chip sees from the sensor, because it felt like everything was turning off on and off at the wrong moments, and it later showed that on the ATtiny 85, low and high on the digital writes is switched. So remember we wrote wrong for the Arduino for the Arduino 80 Mega 328 chip. We had to change from high to low, so I had to change that again back to the, so high was low and low was high for it to work on the ATtiny 85. So except for that, so now it works. I will put that in this sketch up as well if you want to see it. It's just loads and loads and loads of if statements, one for each temperature within the range and humidity. But I know there are much more elegant ways to do it, but I just wanted to concentrate on getting it right. So it is working now. I found a good box that I installed it in. It should be like that, of course. You shouldn't have high voltage electricity open like this, even though it is very well shielded with the, I don't know what you call it, headers or something. So it's quite well hidden right now. But of course, it's very dangerous. If you do this project, be very careful with the high voltage side of things. And as soon as you go in to reprogram the ATtiny and stuff like that, make sure you disconnect all the power. You didn't see what I did there, I think. I was pointing at the cables. Anyways, this project is done and it's installed, and well, it's finally time to move on to something else. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please subscribe to see more of my projects I'm doing. And if you have a humid, cold washing room, then this is a solution. You of course need a heater, which is down here below, and a dehumidifier. But to have full control of those two, this is what you should do. Take care. Bye.